Unfiltered, uncensored, and unapologetic. This is the Retail Warzone podcast.
Welcome.
And here we are.
Hola. Who we got? Hello, Irish. Hello, hero. I'm assuming that's supposed to say howdy, not halfy. You know, quick story about Hero. I posted this on Twitter that she decided we were going to go out shopping for Halloween decor today. And, you know, she got all these ads and emails saying, hey, come check out our Halloween stuff and blah, blah, blah. And it was Hallow Fell. Nobody had a damn thing at all. It was terrible. And,
hey, when I went to Target earlier today, they had their Halloween shit loaded up.
Blame tag, Halfie from me too. Halfie to you as well. I guess we got some new lexicon going on here in the chat. This is great. But yeah, we even went to what I call the basic bullseye store.
You just made the list.
And they didn't have shit. Retail Queen, hello. Do we know you from Twitter? If we do, let us know who you are. If you can. If you cannot, that is fine. But welcome.
Yeah. Anyway, what were you saying, Steve?
So anyway, we there was nothing anywhere. I mean, I think she got some pillows. Joey K, what's up? Good to see you again. How fucking you equals Halfie. Great save. Ooh, okay. Lexicon created. Real quick, a very important thing that we got to get out of the way. Beard Mistress, welcome. Good to see you. Next week's kind of important. I know a couple of you folks in Twitter land have gotten a hold of the book. We got Adam Cott with us next week. You know, he's been on the show once already before, long before we kind of grew the Twitter community. And, you know, I hit him up, wanted to make sure he was cool. He is. He loved being on the first time. You know, he'll be here to talk about the book and answer your guys' questions. I know Philly Essential, he's been struggling because he's like, I have to put the book down because so much of it is is too real. And it is. It really, really is. And it is so well done. So it's great to have him back on. I know when he originally announced the book, I found him on Reddit. And I haven't found a lot of people on Reddit. I found some great people. I found him. I found Proto Rage and Melodic Warfare, but and Irish. But I jumped on him as soon as I saw that he posted he had this book. I'm like, hey man, we do this podcast and whatnot. Would you be interested in coming on? And you know, we're small, and you know, eventually he's gonna get some sort of, you know, fanfare for this. So it was kind of like a run for him to kind of get used to it or whatnot. And he's done some things since, but he was a great guest. He's a good dude. And the book is fantastic. It really, really is. And the one thing I sent to Philly Essential on Twitter was there are literally passages in that book that when you read it, you can hear a Karen or Kyle from your past. You can hear that person's actual voice in your head as you're reading these things. It is the most surreal, effed up thing ever. So I'm a fan. And he did announce that there's a sequel coming, so that's even better. I thought what he did with that book was excellent, and I think it was an accurate representation of what people, especially in the grocery industry, put up with. You know, so good stuff. So I'm glad that's coming. Also, shameless plug, swag. The link's in the description of the video. We have cool stuff. I don't make shit on it. It's for money. It's more about spreading a message. So the employees are more than a controllable expense. And then the dear customer, we are not employed to be your punching bag. Sincerely, essential workers. So good stuff there. Now, let's get into the topic at hand. Blame tag. You're familiar with this. You started this. But anyway, so what happened was, you know, awesome. You know, I was in Publix yesterday. I did not have my shirt. Hero, where are my shirts? Anyway, so, you know, thinking about what I'm going to do on Wednesday, what we're going to discuss and whatnot. And then there's a story behind this. There's a story why we're going to be talking about self-checkouts, and it comes from the Twitterverse. So if people want to own up, that's cool. If not, you can stay silent. Salute of the Wind says, came in the perfect time. My boss saw my shirt and asked if I was trying to say something. I asked if he saw something he felt familiar with. That is beautiful.
Oh my God.
That is beautiful. I love you. You were great. But anyway, so the Twitter sphere, the retail community is the best, as Blame Tag has said. It absolutely is. And sometimes it's like shooting fish in a barrel on the retail side of it because people's ignorance shows. So this happened. So the white dot is the good guy and the blue dot is not. So just popped into a random Walmart tweet about rotisserie chicken, and blank here is absolutely rotisserie Walmart because she considers using a self-checkout lane is being used as quote-unquote free labor since she's doing the cashier's job for them. Well, then this person somewhere down the line replies, no, I'm talking about every single lane in El Paso Walmart's being closed down and having to use self-checkout lanes. Good Lord, woman. Then those same self-service lanes were not working, and we had to be checked out by the attendant watching those lanes anyway. Good guy says, so in other words, yes, that's exactly what happened. Bad guy says, you were just determined to be right, even when you don't have the entire story. Be better. Good guy says, LOL, yeah, obviously I don't know the whole story because I wasn't there, but I made a joke about you thinking that using self-checkout was the same as doing a cashier's job for them, and then your response was to confirm that I was exactly accurate, so that's on you, blank. Bad guy says, you are invaluable. Congrats. You will no longer waste my time. I chime in with, however, you would have thought blank had value if they checked you out. I don't know. Maybe they had cashiers call out due to illness. Good guy says, yeah, we only have value to people like that when we can serve them. And as I says at the bottom, like my mama used to say, if it's not true, then why do you get so mad, Karen? And look at our poor little unhappy Uscan guy there. He's crying. That's terrible. He's just doing his job. So that's what started this. And there you go, blame tag. That was me. I was trolling #bad customer service. I want credit for that. Credit is all yours. Blame tag is responsible for this episode. Dedicated to him. All right. So this started me down a rabbit hole of let's go do some research. All right. So, data is a great thing. I know there's people that like hate self-checkouts and stuff like that. So here's some things we all like to hear. Or we don't like to hear, but that we hear. All right. So, it's taking jobs from cashiers, or, I should be getting paid and blah, blah, blah. And we've heard that, and we just kind of, exactly, Katie, did a great job on Twitter. He was great. I was telling Alex before we got on that I love watching what he does because he'll seek out the most ridiculous bullshit and put them in their place. He's kind of like a retail hero. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying that for brownie points. He just don't give a shit. He says what needs to be said. Exactly. It's what I do. Hero says, can confirm they feel this way. Had to watch us in a pandemic height and heard this hourly. Yep. True story. So I started researching and here's what we got. I got a few slides. So the first is from Vox.com. Wouldn't it be better if self-checkout just died? Yes, because you won't like what it spawns next. This is from 2018. Wouldn't the shopper be better served, customer service improved, if those weren't there, he asks. I'm not arguing. Why do I want to scan my own groceries, he asks. I have no idea. Why do I want to bag my own groceries, he asks. An equally reasonable question with no reasonable answer. The simple solution, he points out, would be to hire enough cashiers to serve the number of customers that typically shop at the store. I agree, and this seems very obvious. Okay, sure. Unexpected item in the bagging area is a shared cultural reference like no other. It is recognizable by demographics so broad, the only thing that connects them is that they have at one point attempted to buy something at one of the nation's largest grocery stores, pharmacies, or fast food restaurants. It is fuel for memes and tweets and Reddit threads. It is the worst phrase known to retail. Unexpected item in the bagging area. Listen, bitch, that is not the worst phrase known to retail. Just going to put that out there. Signed, retail worker.
Do you work here?
Unexpected item in the bagging area seems to be passive-aggressive code for, are you a shoplifter or just stupid? Stupid is very possible, yes. And it haunts dreams. One Twitter user suggested that a good idea for a haunted house would just be a series of fake ghosts saying over and over, unexpected item in the bagging area. Anyone who has used self-checkout has accidentally put something unexpected in the bagging area and been admonished. You know, I've done that plenty of times. I've never been admonished. I don't get it. But anyway, they've also forgotten to put something in the bagging area and been admonished. They've also done seemingly exactly what they were supposed to do and been admonished by some terrible robot nonetheless. Individuals can neutralize guilt they might otherwise feel when stealing by telling themselves that there are no victims of the crime. No human being is actually hurt by this, only some mega corporation that can surely afford the loss of a few quid. In fact, the corporation has saved so much money by laying off all its cashiers that it is almost morally necessary to steal from them. Customers don't want to do retailers' jobs, he agrees. They're smart enough to know that retailers are simply replacing cashiers with the customers themselves, training them to use simplified cash registers and eliminating cashier positions. He's not saying this in any kind of moral outrage. He's just stating the facts as someone who sometimes considers investing in new retail technology. In a Reddit thread about Wegmans in downtown Rochester adding self-checkout stations, one user commented, as a customer, what a privilege it will be to work at, even for the briefest moments, the Fortune 100 second best company to work for. Wow. Okay. So that's fun. What's up, Jason? Good to see you. So I guess people don't like getting their own food or drinks at CC's or a Golden Corral. Sure are a lot of people at them when I go fat and sassy as can be. Damn right. And that's where we're going. So here we go. Next, I went to Quora, and my God, I didn't understand what rabbit hole I was going down, but Jesus fucking Christ. So here's a sample of what I saw. I was in line at Walmart, and customers were choosing to wait in line to buy their items from a cashier instead of using self-scanning devices. Why do you think that is?
Oh, my God. I just read a little bit of that.
Here we go. Science fiction and fantasy novelist. So I think that's appropriate, the fantasy novelist part here. I always go to a live cashier, even in Home Depot, where there may only be one on the floor and staff will try to pressure you into self-checkout. Sometimes they will have you hand them the items, then they pass it across the scanner and give it back to you. So you are doing everything but that one offensive inch. Meanwhile, they keep repeating, see, it's not that hard, like a mother trying to get her kid to color with crayons by putting the crayon in his hand and moving his hand around. There is a principle involved for me. I don't come to a store to work. I'm giving them my money in return for goods. They will profit from that sale. In return, I expect them to make my shopping experience as smooth and pleasant as possible. I'm not a cashier. If I become a cashier, I won't be paid for my labor. But the store is now asking me to do the cashier's job so that they don't have to hire a real cashier. They're asking me to work. Fuck you. The next guy. I hate using self-checkout and will not no matter what. I always insist on going through a live checkout. If someone comes up to me and asks if I would like to go through the self-checkout, I always reply, do I get a 10% discount? The response is always no, to which I answer, then why would I want to? Supermarkets save huge amounts of money by having self-checkouts, money that is being passed on to their shareholders. The employment rate is bad enough already. Now the supermarket can employ less people so their shareholders can get more money. Okay. Then the next one. And this is one that really pissed me off. I think most people prefer to be served instead of doing their own checkout. Look, we're all there to do a job and earn a wage. We're not a servant or a slave. So this person can fuck off too. elementary teacher. God forbid the teaching that they're doing. Anyway, also self-serve stations will eventually replace human cashiers. I don't want to see that happen. I'm sure you don't. Then the next, for me, it's a matter of principle. I don't work for Walmart or any other grocery store or major retailer. Well, there's a shocker. I'm not paid to bag groceries. Other items. Good spelling there. Good sentence structure. I'm the one who is paying for those items. I'm the one who chooses to come into the store and spend money on the products and services they offer. Well, one of those services is having someone bag and scan my stuff for me. Usually, they at least have some training and certainly more experience doing that than I do. Why would I try to bag my own things when someone else will do it for me for no additional cost? I find it almost insulting, really, when you think about what self-checkout is actually doing. It's trying to replace Walmart's cashier staff with its own customers. If everyone used self-checkout, would the store need to keep cashiers? Why pay someone to do work people paying you are perfectly willing to do? It's one thing to outright replace workers with machines, but to replace them with your own customers is equal parts clever and insidious. Okay, sure, whatever. All right, and there's more. If I only have 1 to 3 items, I might consider using a self-checkout if the store is crowded / busy. However, I don't usually go to a place like Walmart to buy just 1 to 3 items. I go to Walmart to buy lots of groceries at one time. That being said, I try not to use the self-checkout at any store for the simple reason that I am not an employee of that store and I don't get paid for doing the work of an employee. I think that by using the self-checkout, I am paying even more for the items I'm purchasing because now I'm also working for that company / store for free and paying the store for that service. Part of the services I expect a store like Walmart to offer me is that they pay someone to process / bag my items and provide me with the total dollar amount due so that I can pay for the merchandise. The only way I'd ever consider using a self-checkout at Walmart or any other store is if that store / company gave me a 5% or more discount at the self-checkout for actually doing the work of the cashier. In that scenario, I'm being paid to do the work of a cashier, and so then I'd consider it a fair exchange of goods / services with Walmart or any other store that offers self-checkout. If there is no discount, then it is not fair. I am working for free and giving Walmart or any other store a discount while I end up paying more. Oh my God, my brain hurts. Then the next one, and I'm just going to kind of skim through these. They cost jobs, blah, blah, blah. There is more inventory loss, and my prices stay higher. 3, they aren't paying a person to do the work. I'm doing the work and seeing no cut in my cost. I know it's not rocket science to scan merchandise, but if I have to do it, I need to see a percentage off of my bill. Whatever. Then the next, these self-scanning devices are putting people out of work. I prefer to go to a live person. If I'm going through that scanner, then Walmart or any other store using them should give me at least a 15% automatic discount. And then another one, I do that. Why? Because I'm not doing the work of checkout and paying regular price. If I can have someone else do the work, why wouldn't I? I should get a discount if I'm going to do the work. Plus, those self-checkouts take jobs from people. Every tech advancement we make takes jobs away, and we keep doing it anyway. Jesus fucking Lord. Come on, guys. So let me go through the chat because I know that was a lot. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Joey K says, as a customer, I like being able to check out without bothering some poor employee. Thank you. I am exactly the same way. Customer service still exists, and I'm not the laziest person on earth like these boomers. Yep. Hero says, we had 5 call outs. It's the worst. Blame tag. Can I talk to the manager? Is the worst phrase in retail. That's true. Katie Fax, yep. Joey K, do you work here? No, it's my hobby to wear a name tag and clean up random stores. Nice. Blame tag says they need to look up the word admonish. Katie says people ask me that not in my store, and I still end up helping them for some reason. So what else we got going on here? Joey K, I've started to help people by reflex before, and in the middle of the sentence thought, wait, I don't work here. Katie says, to be honest, it only happens after work when still in uniform. So I'm too afraid to be pissed at me. I'm too afraid to be pissed at me if they come into my store since it's a small town. Don't tell these people in the tweets about Aldi. Oh, Jesus. Proto says, these are some special people. The Hero says, oh, Lord, I wonder what they feel about curbside. Iris says, I think the real problem they have is they can't get off by abusing self-checkout. Yeah, wait, we're getting there. Russell says, I hate self-checkout. Okay, order something from Amazon and you have to go to the warehouse, pick your package up. Russell, you're always the outlier. Joey K is very telling how disgusted they are by even being remotely associated with a retail shop. Proto Rage says, self-checkout means I don't have to turn off my music and deal with people. Amen. Archer, greetings. All right, so I read that shit and I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? And I'm talking to Hero and Hero's like, yeah, I've heard that like literally numerous times. Blaine Tag says it really is that same attitude about people dumping their shit on the floor at the theater and saying, don't clean it up. The ushers get paid for that. That is correct. So,
well, Steve, I'm just looking at what Irish Connection had to say. I think the real problem they have is they can't abuse the self-checkout machine. And is that true?
Oh, wait.
That is 100%
Oh, yes.
true.
Oh, wait. We're getting there. Oh, wait. There's more. There's always more.
Oh, dude, I want to see someone yelling at the machine.
Oh, no, I don't have that. All right. So next slide. Anything in life worth having is worth working for, said Andrew Carnegie, unless you have to use one of these.
Oh, no.
Look,
a self-checkout.
It's so sad. They hurt his feelings or her feelings.
I'm not going to lie. Every time I go to a self-checkout, it's always got a nice smiling person at it.
So
always makes you feel good.
Right. So having said that, ladies and gentlemen, data is your friend. Hard concrete data is your friend. So having said that, this is important. 3 common objections to self-checkout and how to solve them. This comes from Nordic ID. So why does self-checkout tend to elicit such viscerally negative responses? The most common complaints about self-checkout can be summarized as self-checkout is terrible, or in other terms, consumers don't like using it. Self-checkout is killing jobs. Self-checkout is stressful. Okay. So why does self-checkout tend to elicit such viscerally negative responses? We went through it. Oh, I just realized I put that in twice. Oh, nice. Anyway, myth number 1, nobody likes self-checkout. The rise of automation in modern customer experience has been coming for a long time. Actions we now take for granted, like filling our own carts, were not the norm in the 19th century. The first store in U.S. where customers could fill their own baskets was opened in 1917. But the idea of automating the shopping experience is a bit more recent, going back to Harvard business student Wallace Flint's thesis of 1932. Flint imagined an automated checkout system where customers would select punched cards corresponding to the items of choice from a catalog, and the checkout attendant would place each card in a reader. The selected items would then be delivered via a conveyor belt system. While this particular idea was never realized, the desire to automate the shopping process and innovate the customer experience has always been at the core of the retail industry. However, self-checkout kiosks that have failed to improve the customer experience has caused both frustration and calls for the removal of all self-checkout machines. First of all, it would be wrong to paint these consumers as a Luddite army refusing to adjust to new technologies. Willingness to use new technology has been measured in many surveys and studies, and for example, the annual Connected Retailer Survey of January 2019 stated that 73% of respondents were in favor of self-service technologies to improve the retail shopping experience and reduce staff interactions. It can be deduced that consumers are not resistant to new technology. They just dislike technology that doesn't make their life easier. Myth number 2, self-checkout is killing jobs. The worry that automation kills jobs is as old as the impact of technology replacing human labor. In the early 1750s, Jonas Hanway was recorded to be the first man in London using an umbrella to shield himself from the rain, a gesture that caused much ridicule and outright hostility from coach drivers, as many people used horse-drawn Hansen cabs, and sedan chairs specifically to avoid the rain. The correlation between the introduction of technology and the decline in the specific profession is not always this cut and dry. Anxiety about jobs being replaced by robots is journalized, and self-checkout machines have been made the scapegoat, as many automation processes are not as visible and accessible by the common consumer/shopper. In fact, refusing to use self-checkout machines is an easy, tangible choice that is often also the result of personal shopping preferences and a painless way to express and interpret worries about the world at large. The Future of Jobs Report 2018 by the World Economic Forum predicts a decline of 22% in cashiers and ticket clerks by 2022, but also reports that while 75 million jobs worldwide might be lost due to automation, 133 million jobs might emerge. Myth number 3, using self-checkout is stressful. The irony is that self-checkout can be less stressful than interacting with a human being. A self-checkout till doesn't care what you have put in your basket, while a small part of you wonders whether the cashier notices how many ice cream cartons you tend to buy on a weekend. It doesn't require interaction. If set up properly, doesn't generate queues or lines. Common complaints against self-checkout include the machine's not working properly, the embarrassment of requiring assistance or being suspected of improper use, the fact that machines are not usually designed with everybody in mind. Moreover, it is common that not all products can be purchased via self-checkout, most notably alcohol and tobacco products, adding an extra step to the process. So, yeah. Look at the chat. Blame tag, LOL. I just don't like it. That's some straight bacon shit. Yep. Joey K, because the people who care mostly go shopping for the feeling of superiority and being served. They rarely actually need what they're buying. Correct. Joey K also says, I will always be in support of things that let me go about my own life while bothering less people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. Proto says, so much truth. I've heard the line, you get paid to serve me, the customer. Now just do your damn job. Blaine Tyke says, in my store, the customers themselves are usually responsible for the line at self-checkout. Basically, yeah. Exactly. Self-checkout won't judge me for what I'm buying. And actually, I didn't do the slide for this, but there is a certain percentage of people who go through self-checkout just so they do not get judged by what they purchase. And it's pretty high.
I would be part of that percentage.
Yeah. SRFC1234 said customers can't even read the sign on the self-service machine when it says cash only or card only. They always moan about why they can't use money or card. I know, right? Yep, that's true. Proto says, I watched the guy put his cart together with an abandoned one in Walmart parking lot. Thought he was going to put them both in the return, but instead left them right in the parking space. Dude, really? And yep. You know what they say, shopping carts are like, you know, the litmus test for you know, society, basically, if you're going to put it back. If you've never watched Cart Narcs on YouTube, I suggest you go do it, although dude's going to wind up getting shot eventually. But his whole spiel is he sits in parking lots, and he's got magnets and bumper stickers, and he goes and confronts people for just leaving shopping carts in random places. It is absolutely hilarious. He's been chased. It's crazy. It's crazy. So, anyway, if I've got the button right here. Oh, here we go. Merchant self-checkout winning over Canadian shoppers. Only a few years ago, self-checkouts were seen as job killers by many Canadians. Grocers just didn't know what to think of self-checkouts, and consumers had a love-hate relationship with them. Some saw them as job killers, replacing humans who desperately needed employment. Others quietly used them, either preferring a speedy exit or simply avoiding unnecessary human interaction, making self-checkouts valuable for anti-socialites. But with the pandemic, self-checkouts are becoming more popular, and grocers have noticed. Since the start of the pandemic, 25% of Canadians have changed where they typically shop for groceries, according to a recent survey. The survey conducted in mid to late May 2021 and included 10,024 Canadians. 25% is an astonishing number. Of this group, a good portion of the respondents admitted that a switch was necessary due to declared COVID-19 cases related to the store they regularly visited. Consumers are clearly concerned about potential exposure to the virus or anything else for that matter. In the same survey, Canadians were asked how they intend to exit the grocery store in months to come. A whopping 53.2% of respondents intend to use self-checkouts regularly over the next 6 months or so. And 60.1% of Gen Z members and millennials are planning to use self-checkouts more often. Self-checkouts are almost as popular as regular cashiers now. Consumers are typically impatient and avoid standing in line whenever possible. Enter self-checkout or self-service lanes at grocery stores and other retailers, which became especially popular in COVID. While shoppers and store staff were initially wary, this reluctance has all but disappeared. Consumers like the faster checkout, and stores are happy to oblige. Even more forms of self-checkout are now available with Scan and Go mobile apps, as well as a fully autonomous Grab and Go version. Now, a Canadian study confirms that self-checkout has found wider shopper adoption. Merchants will also find shorter checkout lines and less cash handling are here to stay. So, yeah. Joey K says, yeah, such a horrible extra step of someone turning to look at you while you hold up your ID for 2 seconds. I know, right? So, data is our friend. You know, you got all these people. You got Blame Tag getting a sermon on how it's so stupid. But data is your friend. And here we go. This is from payments.com. Consumers want self-service checkout options, but rarely get to use them. The new payments research reveals that many consumers are choosing modern, user-friendly service experiences when they shop. From self-service kiosks at retailers to smart shopping carts at grocery stores, self-service options allow consumers to take control of their shopping experiences and tailor their checkout choices to their needs. Consumers are not the only ones who can benefit from self-service. Self-service checkouts make it easier for merchants to use staff in areas that require human intervention, like customer service. In today's self-service shopping journey, the new retail expectations, payments, and Toshiba collaboration, we surveyed 2,665 U.S. consumers to examine the impact of access to self-service options on consumers' retail experience demands. The report reveals the gap between consumer interest in modern checkout options like self-service and retailers' missed opportunities to leverage demand to stoke their engagement. So if you look at what they surveyed, 80% share of consumers who want to try alternative checkout options, such as a self-service. And then the little black box there, 68% is the portion of self-service grocery shoppers who choose self-service checkout because of its speed. Then in the bottom right, 41% of consumers who use traditional checkout lines because it is the only option available. So the study reveals an untapped audience eager to try checkout options that allow them more control over how they spend their time in stores. As consumers are offered increasingly sophisticated options for skipping the checkout line, by going online, or using mobile e-commerce sites, merchants will have to innovate quickly to match shoppers' interest or risk losing them to online. So, yeah.
So a thing of curiosity, just to let you catch your breath for a second.
Yes,
Steve.
please.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it was a lot.
A thing of curiosity, I want to know from everyone in the chat that's watching. Like Hero just said, I'll admit I prefer a cashier ringing my stuff, but I try to nicely stack it and would rather bag it myself. I just would like to know from each and every one of you, do you use the self-checkout? Do you go out of your way to use the self-checkout? Yes or no, and why? I will go ahead and give my answer. The answer is yes. I will go out of my way to use a self-checkout because I'll be honest, I don't like talking to random people. Like, I am very antisocial. So I just go to the self-checkout, check myself out. I was the only one here in where I live that got excited that our Dollar General got a self-checkout. I was like, yes. Now I can actually check out reasonably there.
Well, I mean, if you see a lot of what our comments are here, like Maiden, I had a screen up. Welcome. Glad you're here. Maiden says, I'll be honest, I bypassed the regular checkout to go to the self one because there was one cashier open and they were dealing with a difficult customer and had to call a manager. Didn't have time for that. So like Proto says, I have to admit, as someone with a lower back injury, he uses it. Blame Tag, same with Proto. Knee injury, Jason, me and the wife go to Sam's and Scan and Go. It's much faster. Luke of the Wind, I'll honestly use whatever is open. If I have to pick one, I'll do self-checkout because I'm shopping after work, so I'm done with people. Retail queen. I will use self-checkout whenever possible, as I am quick. Iris says I go out of my way to use it, usually faster and I don't need to bother anybody. Retail queen is quicker than waiting in lines. There you go. I am the same. I kind of look at it like, look, these cashiers put up with a bunch of bullshit as it is. And it's just one less person for them to deal with. And yeah, a common theme here is, it's quicker. One thing I notice in grocery stores is, you go through a regular checkout and they'll load your cart or whatnot. And you get to looking at it and it's like 20 bags and like half of them have like 2 items in it. And you probably could have bagged it yourself and been down to like 10 or 15, So, but I prefer self-checkout because of the speed and the efficiency. Part of this, comes down to old dog, new tricks. The old dogs don't want to learn new tricks. And, from the standpoint of it's taking jobs, well, it's been my experience in talking with people. What the plan overall is if they eliminate cashiers, it's not necessarily that jobs are being eliminated. It's that money's getting dumped into the back of the house. And all these cashiers who hate being on a register anyway, who try to do any task you give them to get them off a register because they're sick of dealing with people, it's going to go to like freight and store conditions and replenishment and things like that. It's not necessarily that, they've cut jobs. They're reappropriating that payroll. And because trust me, as a store manager, if they came to me and said, hey, we're going to give you all self-checkouts, you only have to have one person up there, but those 4 cashiers that you have, you can use them to do other things. We're not firing them. I'd be like, hell yeah, let's fucking go. Because we all know how hard it is keeping a store maintained and whatnot. And if you're taking that payroll and you're just shifting it into, stuff that you really need, I think it's great. I really do. And, but it's just one of those deals where people have an opinion of it and it just is what it is. Welcome to fuck. You're late. Bad you. But hey, I want to tell a story real quick about the fuck today. She messaged me. She's like, I had an interview today and it was going great. And then the person she was interviewing for a job decided to pull out a vape in her office during the interview while eating. And get this, if anybody can answer this question for me, okay, evidently had a cup full of cornstarch. It was eating cornstarch. Has anybody heard of that shit before?
No. And that's how to throw interview 101.
I know, right? So now, Alex, you made a comment a little bit ago, and I'm done with slides, so we're going to have conversation afterwards. But Alex, you this is where we're going. Here we go. Mm-hmm. Hey, Jeff Brister. It is good to see you, man. I think this is the first time you've been around. Glad you're here. He says, if I have a cart full of items, I prefer traditional checkout with a cashier. If I have just a few things, self-checkout is the way. Correct. But here you go, Alex. Karen's expectation versus Karen's reality. What Karen expects is a punching bag behind the register versus having to actually take care of her stuff. So...
can't scream at the machine.
Right.
That's supposed to be $2.49, not $2.59.
Okay. So we see all the negative stuff. So let's get into the real talk on this. All right. So yes, there are people that like the customer interaction and they're not going to mistreat cashiers. There are just some people that love, let's look at like elderly folk that shop at the same time at these grocery stores and they're familiar with the cashier. And, that poor cashier's got to sit there and listen to them tell their life story every time they come through. But that gives that person, some comfort when they're in. All right. What I'm really looking at is the people that are looking at like, oh, I deserve a discount or I'm doing somebody else's job. No, bitches, you're lazy. Would you rather just stand in a line? And I think the answer to this question is yes. Would you rather just stand in a line and you're already bitchy for whatever reason. Maybe your Karen hairdo didn't properly dry that morning or whatnot. So you're already mad that you're standing in line, and you're going to take it out on that cashier. And I really think the people that complain the most about self-checkouts are pissed off they don't have anybody to yell at. That's my thought. After seeing all of this and seeing all these comments from people, I demand a discount. It's self-checkout is kryptonite to Karens. It truly is.
Yeah.
And
just a little something that I always think of. It's always nice that a customer can't blame a retail employee, but instead they have to blame themselves, right? So they look at another slow customer checking their own stuff out real slow, and they're just like, oh my God, why are they moving so slow? But they can't do that. They can't comprehend to blame themselves.
They can't. And that's the sad part about it, is the fact that, there's nothing wrong with making the choice to have the human interaction at all.
Not at all.
If that's what you prefer, cool. And if you're going to treat that cashier with respect and say, and ask, hey, is your day going okay? You doing all right? We love those customers. We love the customers that come through and appreciate that we're there doing that for them. All right. But there seems to be some sort of correlation between the people that are bitching about self-checkouts also being I guarantee you, a blame tag. Or your friend that blocked you over this, that is the same kind of person who's going to ask to speak to the manager. That is the same kind of person who's going to berate that cashier because something didn't scan at the correct price. And that's where I'm going with this. All right. It's not about whether it's good or bad, because you have your choice. If you prefer human interaction, go. All I say is treat your cashiers with respect. Don't treat them like shit, because guess what? That cashier has nothing to do with how that item scans at all. But when you see the amount of hatred for self-checkouts coming from people that are asking for discounts and think they're performing work, those are the same people who look at those employees as less than human.
Mm-hmm. When ironically they don't want to talk to a machine,
right? And that's the thing. I mean, and let's face it, I'm not going to name any names. Some people just aren't good with technology, and I get that, and I understand. It sometimes it clicks and it doesn't. I mean, we're still living in a day and age where checks are still a thing. Maiden says, be fucking nice, you piece of shit. Thank you. Perfectly. Yep. Jason says, self-checkout should let the store do a survey on Karens. Yes. But wouldn't it be great if they could identify a Karen and, the little light that goes off that says, calls an associate over, like there was a red light that called over like a security agent or some shit. That'd be great. It's like some kind of key to embarrass this person to the fullest, Proto says, oh God, I had a flash memory. I had a golden age older guy got mad over ID policy, then berate me that I didn't give change back properly. Change first, then your bills. You don't stack it. Oh my God. Hero says there's several older gentlemen that will go to Uscan and look at you and say, help me, and have you scan everything for them anyway. That's true. Katie says checks should stop being, yes, Katie, they should. It's 2021. Look, we have contactless debit cards. I don't care if you're elderly and you have a problem with technology. You can take a debit card and just hold it on the damn thing for it to go beep and say your transaction is good. That's how far we've come.
Except at Walmart, they don't have those PIN pads yet.
Really? Wow.
Yep. And every time I go to Walmart, I have to take my damn card and stick it in the machine and just keep on just doing this and that and the other.
Oh my God. Iris just had the greatest concept ever. I'd like to see a prank show where you can remotely control a self-checkout for those people. Oh my God, that would be hilarious. Lawsuits would fly.
Great.
Archer says, had a couple that didn't understand that the extra few cents they had to pay was tax. Wild. It is crazy. Yeah. Look at the wind says, I refuse to take checks at my job. Fuck that drama. Katie, they pay with a check and take 10 extra minutes. Let me tell you, the ones that when I was a manager for Dollar Tree, the thing that killed me the most was these women that would come up and they're hunched over the shopping cart when they get there. They use it kind of like as a walking cart. And then you tell them how much their total is, and they literally plop down on the counter and they start digging through a change purse, and you have to wait like 5-10 minutes of them digging through change and cash to get their money together. I mean, it's like, damn. Blame Tax says every week that retail Warzone prank show gets a little clearer and clearer. Boy, it does. I'm telling you, if I could find some rich fucker to finance me, I'd bring y'all all along. You'd all be employed in this fictional store. We'd all have a great time, and we would be able to live out our retail fantasies live on television. It would be beautiful. Look at the wind says, if I hit the lottery, Irish, I'm funding your idea. Yep. Maiden says, what about the ones who would pay with a check and date it for a week from then? Like, no, Susan, you have to pay today. Yeah, there was that whole Katie signed me up. Hey, send me a message. We'll get a list. And I know some people in the music business. Maybe I can get them to like talk to somebody. I don't know, because I think it'd be the greatest show on television ever, just to let you know. The fuck today. I hate that shit. Bitch, have your life together. Wow. Jason says, could I finally be appreciated? Absolutely. You would be like the store bouncer. You would be the one that I would have employed to go around. You get shoplifter detail.
Isn't that who you told me looks like Braun Strowman? These
hands, boy. Yep. Are we correct there, Kira? Maiden, is Jason throat punch not Braun Strowman? Rito, do you think they would actually be vaccinated? Probably not. Hero says, move, bitch, get out the way. My favorite Luigi meme of all time. Jeff Brister says, saw a guy at a self-checkout one day with a giant jar of loose change that he was dumping into the machine. He had to have been standing there for half an hour. Jeff, was it the Coinstar machine? And doesn't that take like a percentage? Hero, I know we've got that, and I haven't paid attention, but doesn't it take like a percentage from you? Like when you dump all that change in? Jason, throat punch king. Fuck yes.
Steve, no. Jeff is talking about at a self-checkout machine.
Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, you're right.
Not Coinstar.
You're right. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. That would be terrible. Because, look, I mean, real talk, the self-checkout machines in a lot of places are really bad, okay? That like, for real. I mean, they're not perfect. And I understand why people get frustrated with them. But Jesus Christ, Jeff, if they're putting a whole thing of coins in, you're right. They're there for like an entire 8-hour shift trying to pay for like Pop-Tarts, which is crazy. Defuct, I have one guy that comes in and pays with change and wet wrinkled bills. I've stopped taking sweaty gross money. Yep. Lowe says, geez, Lowe doesn't know what the fuck is going on. Lowe's like, this is a shit show.
I'm sure he's gotten of change.
There we go. Blame Tag said it. The boob money. Man, boob money is nasty. And let me tell you, boob money is prevalent at Dollar Tree. I mean, shit. Shit, it is nasty. And they'll do it. I mean, the fact that they stand right there in front of you and they're like, oh, okay. Here. And you just look at them like, oh my God, it's disgusting. And you get in trouble. I mean, I really wish, we could stand there with like a can of Lysol, and as soon as they pull it, hold it out and be like, psst. That'd be great. That'd stop that shit real fast because you get embarrassed. Katie, the sweaty boob money in the summer. Shit. Where I come from, there's sweaty boob money 365. Do you have another form of payment? No, you don't want to ask them that because no, they'll flop a boob out in here. Nope. Take that away. Boob money, sock money, waistband money. And it's so prevalent. It is so nasty and it's so disrespectful. to the cashiers. It's like, you know, you're pulling money out of your snatch, and you expect somebody to take it. And every time I hear about boob money and stuff, all right, so Hero at one point in time worked at a bank, and the bank was across the street from a really shady fucking strip club, and the strippers would come over and deposit all their money into the ATM. And she used to tell me that, like, on Monday mornings, that the cartridges, the money they pull out was nasty. It smelled like cocaine and bad regret. I mean, it was terrible. Disrespectful to Misters Washington, Lincoln, and Hamilton et al. Yep. Hero says the smell in that room. I can only imagine. How much glitter was on that money? I'm just curious. Was it a lot? I know we've had this conversation. I mean, but I can't remember. I'm old. Shit. My short-term memory is awful. Love this story.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah.
How do you feel about crotch money? Like connections?
I just said it's like they pull money out of their snatch. It's like this nasty. I mean, it's nasty.
Bro.
Look, if you don't pull your money out of a wallet or a purse, 9 times out of 10, you need like a hazmat suit on.
Trying to think.
Joey
of the
K says,
one I've ever
I see
seen.
people pull their phone, wallet, glasses, keys, kids, water bottle, everything out of their bra weekly. Yep, I agree. Hero says she had to clean the machine every Monday because it stopped being able to read the bills. Blaine Texas, oh my God, I'd love to have the glitter money story in writing. I can make her do that. Oh shit, Maiden says smelled like Ed Hardy perfume. I've got to get Hero on here one night just talking about the bank stories because there's some crazy shit there. Lowe says 9 out of 10 they poor as fuck or drunk or both. At least that's what I see when they pull the money from there. Jason says, and it's never the nice dressed customers in suits or dresses. It's the ones with 3 teeth. Yep. Blaine takes says Ed Hardy. See, for those of you joining us for the first time tonight, this is a good time. This is some fun shit, man. I love this shit. That is awesome. Proto Rage. Oh, yeah, that's right, Proto. Hotel night shift in the summer clubbing weekends. All the money was nasty and stank of alcohol and shame mixed with Chanel and Axe body spray. Imagine in the 80s, it would have been like Drakkar Noir. Maiden says, my best friend works at a bank, and damn, yeah. The fuck today says, because that's how Mama and Dee did it. Blame tag. I had a coworker say a customer smelled like he tried to cover up a dead body with 3 cans of Axe body spray. Oh, God. Jason says, unfortunately, I always work Wednesday night, so I miss it. That sucks, man. You're bigger than everybody that works for that company. Why don't you just show them your hands and be like, I need Wednesdays off. I got church to go to.
Sure.
Hero says, check on your friend Fridays, Maiden. They're not okay. Oh my God, this has turned into a fantastic fucking episode. I love the chat shit. It's beautiful. Thank you guys for being here. It is awesome, man. But yeah, boob money, take me to church. It's funny. Oh, wait, Hero, she's got to work Saturdays too. Fucking yikes. Lo says, I'm happy I showed back up. It's a good time, man. When we get rolling, bro, it's no joke because I love the chat. I love hearing their stories, and it gives people an opportunity to vent. It's beautiful. Proto says he's got 2 big reasons for getting Wednesday off. Oh
my God.
It's clobbering time. Russell says, I know at the Dollar Tree, a guy unrolled $1 and Coke fell on the roller and he licked his finger and ate it.
Oh my God.
Katie, I'm usually off on Thursday, so this is my new Friday night. Come on in. Welcome. This is for everybody. This is, look, we all have worked in this business for so fucking long. We need this shit. And there's nothing like it on the internet anywhere. Correct, Irish? Irish has searced high and low. We're it. Jason says maybe next week should be the germs on money that we have to deal with versus COVID. Shit. I think the money that Hero was taking in from the strip club across the street probably is immune to COVID and everything else. It's probably immune to cancer. I don't know. The fuck today. Oh, the fucking shoplifters on Monday. I don't usually close, so they weren't expecting me to be there. Katie, group therapy. Exactly. You know, you bring up a great point, because that's what this is meant to be. You know, I'll come up with topics and we'll talk about it and whatnot. But ideally, my entire goal for this entire thing is to give everybody that wants to join, that works in this business, the opportunity to say what they fucking want to say. We're uncensored. We don't care. We just don't do religion and politics. Anything else, sky's the limit. Let's fucking go. So, your producer says, it's either this or I develop a drinking problem. This is cheaper and more fun, right? You're already paying an internet bill. You just got to log in on Wednesday night. You're good. Your liver thanks you. Cheers. But this is becoming what I wanted it to be. It's not really as much topic driven as it is community driven. You know, I want people on here. I mean, hell, I would have a perfectly fine time just going through the comments. I mean, we could just start the stream, pimp something out and say, this is what we're doing, and just let you guys go. And I am perfectly okay just reading chat, because you guys deserve this shit, man. You deserve to have a quote unquote safe space that isn't a cooler to go cry in. And here you can say what you want. Yeah.
So the auto mod like keeps on blocking out just like random things, but I'm about to just through what the fuck did they said. This is hilarious.
Okay,
yourself.
Jason says, our story has turned into the Amazon store. Y'all, the people that pull their mask down to cough, idiots. Yes, 100%. I agree with you. Luke of the Wind, I've done retail 20 years now. I don't have a liver anymore. Maiden says this is gold. It is gold. Joey K, we have known people who rush in the moment we open at least once a week to try and steal vacuums. Wow. Wearing the same exact outfits every time. Yep, I agree, Hero. Our meat department should walk stuff to the register because of theft. Hey, public service announcement. I want to say this right now. If any of you out there watching this, if you're one of those people that chase after shoplifters, stop. It's not worth your life. You know, it's all fun and games till you chase somebody and you turn around and put a 45 in your face and blow your nose off. So stop, because that company will replace you tomorrow like you never existed. So let shoplifters take what they want to take. That's a reason there's a shrink budget.
Looks like my camera like messed up.
Yeah, you were lagging there for a minute. Lowe says, oh, those dumbass people pulling down masks piss me off. Please go back to your rundown house. Leave me alone. Yeah, the mask thing's crazy. Look, I once again, I will say, I don't give a fuck what anybody says. You know, if you got I don't care if it was a piece of notebook paper. If somebody said that my child could put a piece of notebook paper over their face and it would give them 0.000005% protection versus zero protection, my child's going to face with a piece of notebook paper. I mean, going to school with a piece of notebook paper on his face. I'm sorry. It's, 0.0005 is better than zero. Luke of the Wind. Actually, sad thing is you will get shot for chasing shoplifters. Company will write you up and deliver it to your funeral. Yeah. You know, your loved one will be giving your eulogy. Oh, Luke of the Wind was a great person and he loved everyone and blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait a minute. This just in. The company he worked for says he got 6 demerit points and he's been written up. That's exactly what would happen. You're right. Jeff says, showed up to Walmart one day and there was a big mess at self-checkout. Liquid detergent. When I got to the laundry aisle, there was another big mess of liquid detergent. Some kid had unscrewed all the lids off the liquid detergent bottles. Yep, that's bullshit. All right, so I worked at this grocery store straight out of high school. All right, and I worked there for 5-6 years. I mean, it's straight out of high school. And at the point in time, people could actually break in through the ceiling And we actually had 2 kids breaking. And this is the kind of thing we all dream of doing. But these 2 dudes broke in and they literally went in the store, and their entire reason for being there was going down the aisles and dumping everything that was breakable or could bust open. Like they put their arm in the shelf and just walked down the aisle. And it was like a jackass prank. Hilarious. And they were drunk and stoned and whatnot, and they found them. They were literally across the street, passed out in the back of a flatbed truck. But yes, Jeff, the whole unscrewed lid thing made me think of that. Also on that, Jeff, when I was a store manager for Dollar Tree, I literally had a couple with a child standing not 4 feet from me, looking at them straight, face to face, as their child took a giant bottle of bubble wand stuff, to blow bubbles, and turn it upside down and dump it out on the floor and say, oh, well, you can clean that up. Fuck y'all. The fuck today. Do you work here while wearing shirt with company name on and name tag with company name, my name, and my title? No, I don't dress like this for Halloween. Retail Queen, babysitting is part of our job, but we sure as fuck don't get paid for it, do we? There's no pay increase, none. And that's the thing about the whole retail war zone. The stuff that we deal with, we all should be making like $30-40 an hour. I'm telling you, because of the shit we have to deal with. We're like a hazmat DHEC cleanup crew. There's blood and shit everywhere you got to clean up. You got to babysit. It's just ridiculous. Maiden says, we appreciate your service, but you've been suspended. Rips off slip from pad and drops it in the casket. Yes. Yes. Hero says, Irish, do y'all shave kiwis? They taste good, but that fur freaks me out. What the fuck is that?
It's because Irish asked earlier, what's the weirdest thing a customer has ever asked you?
What? That's produce for you, baby. Produce. Oh shit. Irish says, had a woman about 70 walk up with a sweater and ask me with a straight face would it fit her son? I said it would depend on the size of your son. What did she think? I was psychic. Yep. Jeff says, don't forget the moms that change their baby's diaper in the parking lot and drop the dirty diaper on the ground. Correct. And what they do is, Jeff, not only do they drop that diaper, but you'll go back to the diaper department in a Walmart and they've opened a package of diapers and they've stolen one diaper out of a pack for them to go do that. So it's like Walmart's like enabling them to do this. And we're in a sad state if diapers have to be put behind like security cages. Iris says, nah, you do what you want with your kiwis. We won't judge. Lo says, like 3-year-olds. Blame Tech says, do you have the lamp that looks like you'd stick it up your... What? Really? Please tell me you're just being facetious. Please tell me nobody asked you that. Katie says, someone once tried to change their baby's diaper on a cell. Yeah, I've seen that. Yep. Yeah, I have seen that. That is some bullshit right there. But Jeff is correct. I cannot remember or even account for how many shopping carts, and several of us in this chat, we've done this. We know this. How many shopping carts have all of us in our career have we pulled out of the parking lot that had that diaper that had been changed and the dirty diaper was balled up right where the child would sit when we go pick it up. And it's been sitting out in the sun, like under like Satan heat all day. So you get there and you're like, oh shit, man, this sucks. But yeah. Blank tag. It was like beat it. Oh, okay. Jason says, I have had a mom ask what size underwear her son wears. He was not with her. Took all I had, not to say depends on his eggplant. Proto, I don't get paid to keep crotch goblins away from my breakable merchandise. The fuck today, lady plopped her crotch goblin on my checkout counter and changed his diaper right there and tried to hand it to my cashier to throw away. Jesus Lord, we're so fucked out here. Lo says, good thing is I live in Wisconsin, so heat is non-existent. Yeah, they can freeze that shit. Literally. Blame tag. I think you guys are lucky that the diapers are out in the parking lot, not in the store. True. Maiden says, creepy story. I had some middle-aged dude come up to me with a lingerie set and ask me if it would fit his 14-year-old niece. Well, shit, I don't know, but I'm making a call to someone after this. Alex, I think it's maybe the best stream we've had.
Negative 27?
Yeah, negative 27, but here in the South, we'll get like a 16th of an inch of snow and school will be shut for a week. Hero says, do you have something my son can wear? He just got sick, followed by, can I use your trash can? No, and hell no. Produce is frozen poopsicle. Oh my God.
Oh. Steve, that gives me an idea for a future episode, though.
Okay.
Retail and the snowpocalypse.
Oh, Jesus, God. We live in the South, man. That's too many funny stories. You know, we're talking about kids, and Luke of the Wind had posted something on Twitter about kids running wild, and I'd never heard, believe it or not, I mean, I'm 51, and I hear a lot of shit, but I've never seen it approach this way, and it was something like, we're not responsible for taking care of your fuck trophies. Which was beautiful. I was like, holy shit, that is awesome. I've never heard that before. Joey says, had someone throw an entire rotisserie chicken in the trash, and that trash got unknowingly thrown in the compactor, leaving rotted chicken to ferment over the entire loading. Oh my God, that shit gets so hot back there. Ooh, yeah. And if you don't have a regular like distribution where they come pull the dumpster, man, that it's gonna be like being a dead body in your dumpster, basically. Maiden says, oh my God, yes. What else y'all got? Come on, bring it. Let's go. This is fucking fantastic. Blame tag. This has been a fun one, don't you think?
Yeah, this has definitely been a good one, but to answer Irish's question from earlier, I've been thinking about it. Mm-hmm. While I worked at Lowe's, I had a customer ask me. They just started looking around for a little bit, and they said, excuse me, sir, is this Lowe's or is this Home Depot? And I looked up and just said, just pointed at the Lowe's sign. Yeah,
that happens. Lowe's says eventually they let us in because we're going to fucking die. That's great. Proto, we had a freak ice freeze here and still had to work. Got points because trees and power lines were down in my past work. Yep. Luke of the Wind. LOL. Yep. So sick of kids. Yep. And you know what kills me is, you know, I've got kids and we raise them to make sure they're not assholes. But the amount of parents that don't do that it's just terrible. It's awful. They just let them run fucking rampant. It's like, oh, look, we're in a store that has a toy aisle. So the toy aisle is your babysitter for the next 30, 40 minutes. You stand right here. And they don't tell them, don't open anything, don't throw anything in the floor. And those kids are just over running wild. And you're like, where are your parents? Oh. And true story, at Dollar Tree, I had a kid on a toy aisle. And I walked over and he had opened up a toy. And this child, 5, 6, 7, maybe at tops, tells me a story about how his mother, who was in there shopping, had went to jail for stealing. I'm like, okay, kid, you just hang right here. Let me go see where mom's at. Jeff says, was behind a mom and her little kid that was acting up. I don't know what she said to the little boy, but he grabbed a glass jar of spaghetti sauce and launched it down the aisle and exploded. God almighty, man, that is awful. Awful. You know, they expect you to have a license to drive, a license to have a gun, a license to do this. I'm really starting to believe you should have to have a license to have a child. I really am. Irish says, hate those bastards that eat stuff as they shop, like you can't wait the few minutes until you buy it. Yeah, that's annoying. At Dollar Tree, we had the frozen food section and like a cold cut section. And Russell will attest to this because we were there together. We sold like little cups of like potato salad. You literally would walk and across the store and find like a half-eaten thing of potato salad like on the shelf. It was terrible. Hero says the amount of kids that get flipped ass over tea kettle in the shopping cart with the parents not watching it. Yep, that's true too. Defuck Today told a mother we were not McDonald's Playland and she needed to keep her kids with her, correct? Russell says, remember that kid that hit his mom with the recorder in the stocking? Yes, I do. That was great. A kid had a plastic recorder and wailed on his mom. Yep. Blame Tank says, I always say that at work, you fuckers can't go 5 minutes without eating something. Lowe says, license to leave their house is what some people need. Lowe, you may win the chat for that. Honestly, Russell, that and empty Donald Ducks. Oh yeah. And we sold Donald Duck orange juice. We would find empty. I mean, we're a dollar store. Okay. Everything was $1, period. The amount of theft, I promise you, I saw more theft at Dollar Tree than any other chain I've ever worked at. It's $1. I mean, seriously, Russell can corroborate. I mean, the amount of theft that we had at the Dollar Tree, man, that is just sad. I remember one inventory, our amount of theft was like the equivalent of one entire full semi truck delivery. Think about that for a minute, because you figure you get a full truck, 52 feet, everything's $1 price point. Shit, that's like 60, 70,000 items. Jeff says, this receipt is from 2011. Can I still return this item right? Oh my God, the amount of times I've seen that and wanted to punch somebody in the face. Oh my God. And the amount of companies that I've worked for that you would refuse that return, Jeff, and they'd call corporate, and corporate would be like, you could have done something for them. We're giving them a $50 gift card. Take care of them. Like, why have a fucking policy? Why bother? I mean, seriously?
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve.
What?
Remember that guy at Felmart that brought in the Wii Sports Wii and tried to return it?
No, I do not.
You weren't there for that?
No, I don't remember that one, no. Because I think if I would have been there for that, you'd have been like, Steve, you got to see this shit.
Oh, yeah, because it got brought back to me and was like, is this recent? And it was like during the Wii U.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, that's a fucking relic of the past right there.
Oh, Russell, the sandwich guy. We had a guy that would come in the store, because you got to remember, Dollar Tree, there are only usually 2 people in the building if the stock crew wasn't there. Had a guy that would make sandwiches and like eat half and leave half the sandwich somewhere else and split. Joey K. Oh no, Jeff. I've had people buy something from a completely different store 10 years ago in another state and still ask to return it to me. Holy shit. Wow. Irish says, dumbest thing someone ever tried to return. Ooh, I don't think we have enough time for that. I will tell you, when I worked at the decor store, all right, okay, it was at home, if you're familiar with that, all right. I remember walking down the aisle and seeing a product. I'm like, what is this? And somebody had literally returned. And I don't know how the fuck they did it, because no manager was involved. I guess they just grabbed a barcode. And I found Hobby Lobby merchandise in our store that people had returned. and the decor store was horrible. That job was terrible. They will fucking kill you. It doesn't matter. They don't care if you got cancer, AIDS, COVID, whatnot. They expect you to work 24/7. And Hobby Lobby is about the same. And you see this, that was like a satanic, like, bonding to see Hobby Lobby merchandise and at home. I didn't touch it, and I'm glad it didn't, because I think anybody who touched that item's probably cursed. Joey K says, I've had people come in with returns they need to ship back through UPS and ask if I could take it after I got off work and send it back for them. Fuck off. No. Defuck Today, PS1, just a console, no box, no cords, no nothing. Nope, that's a negative. See, Defuck Today, you do know about game stuff. Luke of the Wind, people tried to return used condoms, said they didn't feel right. We don't sell condoms, that's even better. Retail Queen can always tell when someone has cleaned their closet and tries to return old stuff. Of course, they can't find their receipt, and then they get pissed that the return price is 97 cents. But if you're able to return it for 97 cents, the gratification you get from that is just immense, especially if they just take it. Wow, the chat's blowed up. Proto, I've had someone try to return a cartridge that wasn't CBD, claiming we sold out to him. Obviously, we don't sell that for legal reasons. There you go. Shit from other stores. Yep. Lowe says Automod is pissed. Yeah, Automod is on fire tonight. Addicts, the Iron Maiden, shit from other stores. Oh my God, literally people bring shit. Yep. Joey K, a lady once returned a used inflatable water slide full of bullet holes, and I mocked the managers that allowed it for days. Holy shit. You win. You win, Joey. Joey, you win tonight. He gets the award. I don't know what the award is, but you get it. Blame tag. We once got a rug and we rolled it. It had, a bunch of roaches ran out. You know, for you video gamers, you know, there's a lot of people that try to return video game consoles that have been infested with roaches. That's pretty nasty.
Oh, God.
Wow. All right, guys. So this has been fucking fantastic. So
that Wii Sports Wii.
Yeah.
I'll never forget that.
This has been great. The fuck. Yeah. So we're sitting at hour 16. I want to thank each and every one of you that showed up tonight. Come back next week. I want you guys, if you haven't read the book, look, I'm going to post this up one more time so you see it. The book is called Life on the Grocery Line, a Frontline Experience in a Global Pandemic. You can get it on Amazon. Actually, if you go to the description of the video tonight on YouTube, the link there is to get it. It's not expensive. You can get it on Amazon, digital or whatnot. Read that book. It's great. Okay. And Adam will be on with us next week to answer your questions. And for those of you who've been here for the first time, thank you. Jeff, it's really, really good to see you. You ladies from Twitter, Retail Queen, Katie, it's good to see you. Come back. You know, this is what we do. And if you've seen in the past where I've posted retail therapy, and that's what it is, imagine an entire night of just this. No topics, no nothing. You just start spouting in the chat and we go. As far as things I'm looking for, as far as hey, Katie, thank you. Thank you for being here. Things I'm looking for. Wait, Hour says, here's an idea. We could get a uniform of some store for Alex for Black Friday. He can stream about fucking with customers. Well, no, we're not going to do that. But Alex and I were talking about that earlier. So we've got to do a test run here shortly so I can make sure I can get the graphics right. You know, basically, if anybody's wondering what Addicts Eve is, yes, Jeff, I actually mentioned that before you came on. Carton Arcs is fucking fantastic. We lived in Atlanta for quite a while, and the guy who does Carton Arcs started out of Atlanta, started at one of the local radio stations. And it is absolutely hilarious. You were correct. And Jeff, would you not agree that it's amazing he hasn't got shot yet? I mean, like, seriously. But yeah, blame tag. Oh yeah, hashtag Addicts Eve. And Russell, yes, for real. First week at Cherrydale before Steve. Yes. But anyway, guys, as far as what I'm looking for, as far as like guests and topics, I really want a retail pharmacist that works at like CVS or Walgreens. If you know somebody who's going through a rough time and wants to vent anonymously, obviously they won't be on screen. You know, it's just audio. I want somebody from there, and I want somebody who works for what I call the cult of the forbidden fruit, which is somebody who works for Apple. And, you know, because I know Apple's going through a lot of shit right now. I just saw, you know, something about their PTO or whatnot. And I know that's, and the reason I call it the cult of the forbidden fruit is if you're bought in to working for Apple, it is very cultish. It really is. And I'm going to say this now before that actually happens at some point. I am an Apple person only for a couple of things. I have a Mac Mini.
Android.
Well, I have a Mac Mini, and I use it for music production and audio production. So I'm a Mac fan when it comes to that, and I also use Logic Pro 10. But I don't have an iPhone or anything I don't get into all that. But, you know, it's one of those things. So I'm looking for an Apple employee and a pharmacist, especially a pharmacist because they're going through some shit right now. I mean, you guys, if you know anybody that is a pharmacist that works in retail, check on them. They're not okay. It's not good. So, but Jason says, I feel Chick-fil-A is a cult too. There, I said it. You know, you're right. And low, as far as Android, like I said, I'm not into the phone thing. I'm into the computer thing. You know, my Mac Mini, and I've never bought one new. I've always bought them secondhand, but they're great for music production and audio production. So, but anyway, guys, it's been a great, great night. If this is your first time here and you thought it was fun, go tell your friends. Bring them next time. Please, if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. It's not for monetary reasons. It's for getting into the algorithm so more people can find us and see what we do. So make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe. I'm not asking for anybody's money. Yes, we sell swag, but there's like $1 profit on everything. So I'm not making any kind of mint on it or whatnot. This is about spreading a message. So this is a community, and that's what I need it to be. So a retail security guard might be good to have on. Yeah, you are correct, Irish. I agree with Blame Tag. That would be great. Cheers, Jeff. Really good to have you here, man. Have a good night. All right, guys. So, Alex, you got anything you want to say real quick before we sign off of here? Nope.
Had a good night.
Yep. Everybody have a great night. This was a lot of fucking fun, man. We want more. I want it to be to the point that I have to have moderators to go through the chat because we're having a hard time keeping up with it. So let's bring it. All right, guys. Everybody have a great night, and we will see you next time.